And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. Oh, very quick one this morning, guys. I've fallen behind a little bit on the schedule this week, so it's a little bit closer to the deadline than I normally do my team sort of lock-in and Bishop Brandon Cup. So yeah, this usual famous last words. Try and make this a quick 10-minute one. Probably end up in 20. Team lock-in and a few thoughts around the news we've had this week around the doubles. I'm not going to go too in depth into that because I think there's a lot more thinking to be done. But let's look at the team first, as you see it there. Happy enough with that going out. Clean bill of health. All the yellows are now gone. We've got Verbruggen goal against Everton, goal against Everton at home. Not too bad a fixture. Nunes away to Tottenham. Bit of a benching dilemma. Should I play Tarkowski or should I play Nunes? Should I play forward at the back, as I was supposed to be in a 4-5-1? But I can't leave a striker on the bench at home to Burnley, can I? Robbie, and he's a handful. I fancy he might get something today, so we're going to go with the two at the front. I think I will go with Nunes. Home to Tottenham, away to Tottenham. Tottenham, couple of injuries at the back there. Maybe they can be got up. Maybe Nunes can get. PT is picking up a few attacking returns, a few assists. So hopefully he can repeat that. I do think Spurs will score. We'll see. Alderete, Burnley home. Yeah, that's fine. I think Alderete sums up the luck I've been having this season when I did the wild card, and I had to make the choice between Alderete and Mukiele, and I chose wrong because they were on exactly the same averages for the season and consistency in the last 5 at the point I did the wild card. And of course, Alderete now has given me a 1-1-1-1. While Mukiele's been going on with assists and really strong numbers. Gabriel leads away. Okay, let's see if we can start to see some Gabriel points outside of the clean sheet, because the clean sheet really does nothing for me, because we've obviously got the double Arsenal defences then with the Timber and Raya, so really need something above and beyond a clean sheet from Gabriel. Rice, typically, of course, again the thing that's happened to me all season, ticking along nicely, showing nice 5, 6, 7s, the occasional 10-point pluser. As soon as I bring him in, 3, 3, 2. Enzo. Yeah, Enzo, I guess this is probably one of the more interesting ones. Parma looks as though he should start, meaning Enzo probably won't be on penalties unless Palmer's not on the pitch. And he's obviously been picking up a bunch of his points from those penalties, reaping the benefits of those. Still think he's a good pick, hugely bought in by everyone. I am wondering if he was the best pick in the end now, having already made it. I hope that lawnmower up there isn't cranking, isn't disturbing you guys too much. Anyway, listen, he's a fabulous player, crashes the box. And we'll just have to see how he goes over the next 3 or 4. And I'm going to come back and talk to these doubles and blanks shortly as well, because we've obviously had the announcement now of game week 26 double. Palmer, fine, should start. Got 2 assists in midweek. Came on at half time. Seems to be some reasonable noises from the new manager. Bruno, yeah, I think he's kind of a must-have, but watch his returns dry up now that I've got him in. Here's the thing to remember about Bruno. Everyone's clamouring to get Bruno as well. Does anyone remember how frustrated a lot of people were with him earlier in the season? Bruno's still going to do that to you, but he should show some level of consistency. Hitting those 4s and those 5s, but we know then that they can get those. He can string a run of 10, 11, 12s together, one after the other. So before the ownership goes even higher, hopefully I can catch a little bit of a run of that. And the captain's armband is on him just for that consistency, and hoping he can catch that run. And betting against Haaland. Saka, Yep, it's fine. Need him to start doing something. I mean, up until game week 19, he was chugging along reasonably well for me. Excuse me, with that average of 6. Yeah, with that average of 6. But between the benchings, I'm just coming on for 30 minutes in 2 matches, and then a 3 and a 2 in the others. Averages fallen back to a 3.2. A lot of people getting frustrated with him. A lot of people selling him. If Havertz is out on the pitch, I think that helps Saka. I think they work quite well together. So I'm hoping Havertz does actually start, and we can get a big score or 2 out of Saka. Robbie, as I mentioned, yeah, Burnley home. Got to give that a crack, haven't I? And Haaland also, who will be on a much lower. So a Haaland captaincy will still hurt if you haven't got the captain's armband on him, but not as much. So yes, I'm hoping Haaland doesn't score. Or if he does, that at least Bruno has matched or outscored him. Tarkowski first off the bench, so haven't had much of a bench for a while. That's a good first off the bench, and Chow Liverpool away on the bench. Right, some quick thoughts. It's confirmed there'll be a double game week in 26. We know anyone that plays in 26 is going to blank in 31. And then we're expecting a fairly large size double in 33 and a big blank in 34. So I think that's kind of how it will work out. There's so much can obviously happen. So key to me is going to be getting through, only having just the free hit and triple captaincy and bench boost left is getting through 31 and 26 without using a chip. Now that was going to be, I think, relatively simple at the point where we thought it's going to be, and it should still be, Arsenal blanking with Wolves. And I'm kind of already set up for it. I'm not really going to be going for any Wolves assets, and I've got my 3 Arsenal assets, for good or for bad, whether they're the right assets or not. But what happens if Chelsea do spring a surprise? And I kind of hope they do, because what we'll have then is a little bit of chaos. We'll have a little bit of chaos, because then we would have a double that would consist of Chelsea and Everton. And Everton, to be honest with you, the Everton fixtures for a double would be quite enticing. Let me just find where's Tarkowski. Yeah, because the Everton double would be Chelsea at home and Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth at home. So that's you do want to invest in Everton assets there as well. So that's going to require a bit of thought. If Chelsea do suddenly beat Arsenal, I still feel it's unlikely, very unlikely. But what would I do? Just for future thoughts, I'd probably use. I think I'd stick with the 2. I'm a little loath to overinvest too much in Chelsea, but I'd certainly look to increase the Everton assets. But that would actually play quite well for me, to be honest with you. I'd probably, unless he really is suddenly finding some fantastic form, I think I'd use Saka as a cash cow, maybe turn him into Dewsbury Hall, and then I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. My most favouriteest goalkeeper I'd like to turn John into, I'd turn him into Pickford. And I'd probably leave it at that. So I'm not over committed into either team, but a really strong pairing from both. I should have the triple from Chelsea. Yeah, I would have the triple from Chelsea. No, I wouldn't. Yes, I would. I'd have the triple from Chelsea and a strong double, because then that really would have to be it, because then I'd obviously have the challenge for blank 31 to manage through, and obviously having to do a few transfers specifically to get rid of a couple of players. To make sure I've got a full team going out in 32, and also making sure I can manage my way through the double and blank 34 and get a strong team out for the double, and maybe free hit 34. think in my head that sounds right. A lot of times to think about that. But yeah, if Chelsea did qualify, I think that's almost certainly what I'd do. I'd move Saka out, bring in a Dewsbury Hall or a Garner or something like that. Someone that then going forward in a team not playing in Europe is a really, really strong fifth midfielder or eighth attacker. And yeah, bring in Pickford. I'm pretty confident that's what I do. However, I do think Arsenal qualify, so it's pretty much going to be as is as we move towards the double and then the doubles and the blanks post 30. That's that. Very, very quick and hopefully intelligible waffle on that. We'll talk probably a lot more about that next week after we've had the Carabao Cup semi-finals and we know exactly what we're dealing with. Happy with the team going out. There are players that I'd love to have in there. Mbumo being my main one that I'd love to get in there, and that's something I do have to think about. Obviously, going forward, how long do I roll for, or do I just try and get Mbumo in next week? Obviously, depending again, of course, what happens in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Lots to think about, guys. Lot to think about. Okay, I'm flying through this. We'll come back to all of that. Need a big game week. Need to see the big red, as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, from 19, 20, 2 greens, 21 red, 22 green, 23 red. So then the drop to 883,961. My averages dropped from 56.77 to 55.83. But as you can see there, read it for yourself. It's gone. It's dropped right across the board again. These averages are ludicrously low: 57.4445 to 56.78 for 500,000. So I haven't really lost any ground there on getting to 500k. But it's another game gone. It's another game gone. Another game gone. And the more the games tick by, the harder it's going to be to recover. And 100k also dropped 59.5 to 58.82. So a drop there, and 50,000 dropped from 60.18 to 59.52. So that's a pretty significant drop. And the number one's drop is from 67.81 to 66.47. Huge drop, losing a whole point off the averages. 66 points last year would have had you at the, even in the current table, would have had you in 66. It would have only had you in just scraping in the top 50k. 66 points now as an average has you at number one in the world. Absolutely mental season. So I'm just sort of iterating that because it just shows you just the weirdness, the absolute weirdness of this whole season. Absolutely crazy. Right, let's do a very, very rushed but well meant British Brand Cup. Yeah, sorry about the rushing here, guys. I've had so much going on, and I have actually woken up late to make matters worse, and I've got people arriving in about 15 minutes, and I'm not really going to get a chance to do this after that point. So let's have a look at BB Cup. I'm looking at the right screen here. That should have it, I think. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Okay, hopefully this comes up clear for you. So, just listen. It's I don't think any of us want to talk about it too much, do we, this week? It wasn't a great game week for any of us. Very, very few. Just to keep it to the top three this week. Yeah, even old Victory Road Dean, who is normally ever reliable, chugging along consistently, scored less fucking points than me, and that was hard, I can tell you. 37 point, unlucky Dean. I won't do a major review of teams here, but we'll just have a quick look here. That's the phone going. Someone's going to be arriving imminently. 37 points. Did do just the one transfer. Yeah, it's just so many. Haaland 1, Krupi Jr. 1, Bert's nothing. Enzo came in for you a little bit. Saka captaincy. Okay, it's just not a good week, is it? Not a good week, Dean. Okay, fingers crossed you can get that back on track, but you're still I just dropped just outside that top 5,000k. Still in a fantastic position, mate. Okay, big one this week. Big one this week, buddy. That's our number one. Richard, you're at hanging in there at number 2. Quick glance. 2 transfers. Anything of significance there that I can spot? Carl Lewin. Bowen. Does he transfer in Bowen? That's a good move. I want Bowen. Is it seriously on my shopping list? I'm just not quite sure. Oh no, you already had him. He was on the bench last week. That's why I didn't spot him last week. Bowen. Yeah, I want Bowen. I've decided he's on my shopping list. I'm not quite sure what point I'll be able to bring him in though. But I want to try and get him for the last 10. See if he can do for me this year what he did for me last year. He was a significant reason why I climbed those ranks through chip season without chips. He just kept. Yeah, Bowen scored. That's right, if West Ham scored, Bowen scored. Listen, in the grand scheme of things, 47 wasn't a bad score this week. And look, you've just got 6,275 at the end. You got a that was enough for Sea of Green Arrows for you, buddy. So nice one, Richard. Still cranking away there. Okay, come on, yeah, man. And we have a new entry into the top 3 with an actual reasonable score, because that was my opinion. Anything over 50 was a good score this week. So good score, Lee. And you're also just knocking on that 5,000 door. 6,434. What do we got here? Oh, excuse me, hay fever strong on me. Dubravka, good, lovely, brave choice, buddy. Putting him in, that 5 points has made all the difference. Bugger all at the back, apart from Chalobah. The double Arsenal defence is great when it comes in, but a lot of pain when it doesn't. Rogers, yeah, again a player I think is on my mind as well. Just as we're getting this part of the season, guaranteed starter, will get your returns. Is he going to be on penalties now? With you got your Watkins injury. Is that much of a problem? Oh, you benched Bruno. You benched Bruno last week. But in your midfield, that's just yeah, you had to play Saka, really, didn't you? Yeah, that's the call I would have made. That's the call I would have made. It's just a United beat Arsenal. Hurrah! Still hurrah in that one. Yeah, Enzo, lovely. Semenyo, yeah, really good call. Curiosity would be, did you hear the deadline stream? Take a captaincy off Haaland and move it on to Semenyo. Or was that call that you just made? There are no wrong answers there. In fact, did you transfer Semenyo in? Would probably be my wondering there. But yeah, 1,408 points, 6,434. Anyway, as you have probably gathered, you folks, none of those scores are our Bishop Brennan Cup winner. We do actually have someone that came in with a decent score. Somewhere down here. Make it a little bigger. I thought that was a 68 somewhere at the moment, though. I might have made a mistake. We've got a 65 down there from James Parker. Little tense moment for you here, James. Are you the winner? I don't know. I'm going to have a go. No, it's not on page 2 because I went through that before. 62. Why did I think there was a 68? It's probably me with my no, there it is. There it is. I knew there was. Dave Edwards, 68. Kipax Commandos. Really good score, mate, on a game week like this. Very good score on a game week like this. Let's just make sure that is visible over here. Yep. 68 points. What did you do? No chip played, so absolutely cool. How did you get 68 points out of a game week like that? And it was miserable. Watkins. Oh, okay. So there's a bit of join. Excuse my sniffing, guys. That's really bad this morning. Watkins. I speak long and often about Watkins. He's the second half of the season, man. The reason I'm thinking about Bowen and how I do get to Bowen for the rest of the season is because Watkins did his bloody hamstring in Europe. Because that was a little bit about my thinking about, moving, potentially moving Palmer or Saka out, depending on how the next game week or two goes, as a move to potentially get Watkins in. But depending on the seriousness of that injury, that now turns to Bowen. Although has there got to be a little bit of thought about this this new guy, this new young lad, 6 million that they've brought in? Surely they're going to have to throw him in at the deep end. One worth just keeping an eye on. 6 million striker playing for Villa, third in the Premier League. Has to be had a look at, doesn't it? Even as a third striker, maybe. So that was a key driver for your points. Make the captaincy on your 16-pointer in a week where there were very, 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 very few plus 10 pointers, if any, among the favoured picks. They say your Haalands, your Brunos, your Enzos, your etc. etc. Brilliant, mate. Other than that, you got did pretty well there. Out, you did you did very, very well out your defence, didn't you, mate? Clean sweep of returns, and you got your Rodgers in there as well. Not much else elsewhere. So listen, I'm normally a bit more effusive when I run through all of this, but buddy, that is a fantastic score in a really, really tough game week, Dave. So you are just knocking on the door of the top 100,000. Hope you get there this week. Congratulations, you are this week's Bishop Brennan Cup winner. If the globe was beside me, I'm not doing it in the room I'm setting up at the moment. You're on top of the world, buddy. Stay there. I'll take care of you lot. Hope you all have fantastic game weeks. Certainly we need a better one than this week, don't we? We need a much, 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 much better game week than we had last week. And we're going to have it. I have a good feeling about it. I have a feeling we're going to be many plus 70 pointers this week. I'm predicting it. That's what's going to happen. I hope. Take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Don't panic. See you lot soon. Bye-bye.